the HCS Pro League fall season. Join with me at the Xfinity desk, T-Squared as always here. Now we just saw a really quick series between Envy and Luminosity. Envy really coming out and showing their dominance. This is what we were expecting to see from Envious, but we're a little surprised after a week one poor performance.
Wow, that was fast. That's all I got to say.
that was a quick one. Now, of course, our next match, and one I'm still really excited for because we're going to see these two teams battle it out, and each one has shown amazing things this series, whether or not it's Allegiance going to Game 5 consistently with everyone they match up against, or Team Liquid with that 3-0 victory over Envious, and even taking Optic Gaming to that crazy Game 5 yesterday where they were almost able to do it.
Yeah, 1 and 2 records for both of these teams. It doesn't really mean much though because they've played at a really high level. They could be one of those teams that easily could be 2 and 1. Heck, you could even say maybe Allegiance should be 3 and 0 at this point. So this is going to be a very competitive series. You know, may go the distance.
I couldn't agree more, Tom, as usual here. Now let's take a look at this Team Liquid squad, because we've got Spartan, we've got Commonly, Rain, and Penguin, and we saw amazing things out of all of these guys yesterday. Like, I expected them to be a dominant force here this season. I did not expect them to give Optic Gaming a run for their money, and each one of these guys looked really comfortable against that lineup with what they were doing, the routes they were taking, the kills and multi-kills they were able to pick up. You can tell that these guys are confident in their ability. They know that they're able to qualify for finals here as long as they can continue this momentum, and that they know they can beat anybody.
Yeah, as Dan Gaskin, our boy, would say, is Spartan yesterday was playing out of his skin. So, yeah, Spartan, he's big, man. He was absolutely insane yesterday. They didn't walk away with the win. One of the things to me that really stood out was how Spartan just went and charged down towards the bottom, grabbed that overshield in that 48-48 game that ended up being 50-49 in favor of Liquid, and commonly stayed alive behind that little wall. So their communication was on point, their situational awareness was really solid as well, and it's going to be tough for Allegiance. These guys are going to be pretty upset after their loss yesterday, and they're playing at a pretty high level. So again, this is going to be very close. It's going to be tough to call.
And let's take a quick look at the series layout. Of course, these teams did go through the veto process, and we are left with a Game 1 Capture the Flag Coliseum. Eden Slayer strongholds on the rig. Now, should we need to go to a games 4 and 5, that's a Truth TF and a Regret Slayer as well. So as far as looking at these vetoes, or not looking at the vetoes, but looking at this series layout after the veto process, you know, I didn't expect Liquid to be as good as they are on a few of these maps, but, you know, if this goes to a Game 5, like, we saw Liquid really shine. You know, if you're able to beat Optic Gaming on any game type, you're obviously going to be pretty good at it.
Based on the maps that we're seeing here, which is the maps that these guys are going to be playing in the game types as well, I'm going to have to give this series over to Liquid, in my opinion, maybe 3-1 or 3-2. Something to keep in mind is that Allegiance is 0 and 4 in Capture the Flag, but they're absolutely amazing at Strongholds. They're 5 and 0, and Liquid, they're 3 and 1 overall in CTF, and they're 1 and 3 in Strongholds. So you got to say that, in my opinion, it's going to be CTF Coliseum and CTF Truth going over to the side of Team Liquid, and that means that they only have to win one out of those 3 games. So based on those stats alone, I think that we're going to have to give advantage over to Liquid, and also because they played Optic Gaming so well yesterday, but that doesn't mean that Allegiance can't right their wrong so far in this season and finally pull out a CTF game.
Yeah, I mean, every one of these teams are going to match up against each other twice during the regular season. Now, one of those series is going to be 2 Capture the Flag game types in it. One of them is going to be 2 Stronghold game types in it. So based on what you just said about what we've seen from these teams so far to start off the fall season, 2 Capture the Flag games is absolutely going to benefit Team Liquid.
It definitely does, and it's going to be up to Allegiance to win the Slayers. Fortunately for them, Game 5, if it goes to that, isn't the rig, so nothing to worry about there if you're an Allegiance fan, but they're going to have to step up in this Game 1, and we're getting it going right now.
Right, now that is Capture the Flag on Coliseum. Now we saw just how dominant Liquid can be, especially on like Fathom here. So I liked what I saw from Spartan here all day yesterday. So I'm going to kick this one off with him again, see what he's going to be able to do here. Now, Capture the Flag Coliseum that we've seen this game type played once already today, and it was extremely quick victory here from Envious. Let's see if Team Liquid's able to replicate any of that success that we just saw here earlier.
Spartan making his way over to the sniper, getting that one for free. Multiple players over there on that DMR area. He sees a couple of them in the window, has multiple grenades, doesn't like to throw the grenades, ends up just piecing out with the sniper rifle. Gonna fall back and play a little bit of defense there. Carefully don't fall off the map, dude. So I like this. He's working with Commonly over here. Also needs another player to distract from that window, maybe push up towards the elbow as well. Commonly getting a nice trade over there, and that's exactly what you need to do if you're commonly in Team Liquid. You have to create opportunities for your sniper. You have to be a little bit further pushed up, otherwise you don't have anyone to bait with the sniper, and you're not going to be able to get anyone to poke out from the other side of Allegiance. So I like the way that Allegiance hasn't been giving up any kills here, but it's up to Team Liquid to utilize these weapons. They have the rockets and the sniper. They have to get into the base.
Yeah, I mean, as far as opening strategy here for these two teams, going over in favor of Liquid. It's not very often you win both power weapons, considering they spawn on opposite sides of the map. Pretty impressive opening strategy for Liquid, considering they grab sniper and rockets.
Yeah, Spartan just hasn't been able to find anybody peeking out quite yet. There is a player that's running over there towards the elbow area. That's going to be Shooter. Does pick off Shooter, so immediately when someone pokes out, he does capitalize on that, but there is another player flanking him from behind. Does switch over to his pistol. That's not the one-shot guy. Has another guy one-shot hiding behind the wall. So sick job hiding over there from Falcated. Takes out the SMG and picks up Spartan's sniper rifle as well. And that's just a little bit worrisome because Penguin wasn't able to utilize those rockets very well. So he needed to get in there and work with Spartan to get those easy kills off the flag. If they would have used both of their weapon guys, they could have had that one. But nonetheless, looks like Penguin is going to make his way over here towards the cave, which is a nice power position. Has two players over there on the elbow. Also, Spartan's back here with that scatter shot. This is a really good opportunity for Liquid to run this flag. Multiple players dying. They should probably rotate this one over down towards bottom center, and they are. So nice heads-up play coming out from Liquid and Penguin. They're going to have to watch his back, though, because everyone's going to be pushing snipe side. 2 kills going over to Liquid. This is looking really good.
And wow, great run from Penguin, using thrust at the perfect times to accelerate, get over any kind of humps on the ground there that could slow him down a little bit. You've got Falcated trying to grab control of these rockets, but that's the wrong time to do so as he gets dropped almost instantly. Penguin looking for this ammo, unable to find it here quite yet, and that's because Shooter grabbed it, but Shooter not able to capitalize, and that ammo is going right back to Penguin.
It's unfortunate for him that he has the empty rocket, so he has to reload, but actually no one charged him in that situation, so it ends up working out for him. And I love that play, that getting that aggressive in that window. Needs to stay alive, though, has multiple players looking at him. Commonly picking up 2 kills with the sniper rifle. Penguin still has to keep his shields, though, and that flag is going to be returned. But either way, Commonly in a really prime position. This is, again, Penguin needing to push him through the window, which he does. Even pulls the flag at the same time. 6 snipe coming in from Commonly. This could be another capture here. You do have someone crouching, though, over there in that grass area. I think that's Shooter that's made his way over towards the enemy base. Let's see if he's able to do anything, though. Does get the kill, so he's on the return. Is he able to do it? Looks like Rain's over there as well. Looks like the return did come in, so the last player alive sneaks over and gets the return. So nice play coming out from Allegiance to stop that cap from Team Liquid.
All right, now Shooter got the rockets back in his hand. Just used the last one that he had, and now we got the new sniper rifle coming up, and that's going to go back in his hands too.
Yeah, and that's almost what we saw happen to... Who was that? That was Umanasi going up against Envy, where Snipedown made his way over towards that elbow, and now it ends up being a cap loss for Team Liquid and a cap going over to Allegiance eventually. So there it is. It's tied up 1-1. Big double kill coming out from Penguin is going to give map control over to Liquid. They have to flood in, though. They haven't been able to get the kills fast enough in the base, and they've been allowing their flag runner to die, and they need to make sure that they're coming back with that guy in order to win this game.
You can see just how skilled these players are. Watching that kill feed, the amount of perfects that you see in this game are pretty impressive. And just the map positioning, you can see Shooter and Contra trying to do a little bit of bait and switch action, but you got Team Liquid collapsing very effectively on the base. However, Spartan gets taken out at Snipe Tower, so you need to have Team Liquid regain control of this side of the map here if they're able to make any kind of moves.
Commonly staying alive over here on that DMR area. Contra gets dominated. Reversal going over to Commonly. He did have a little bit of help over there. However, that flag is going to be tossed out. Devin did sneak into the Team Liquid base. Hasn't been killed quite yet. Does get a kill onto Rain at the same time. Nice play, though, from Commonly making his way over here, rotating. Doesn't have a positional advantage, though, so he ends up backing up. It looks like he's just going to elect to bait this flag as soon as Devin sees that that kill did go, and he's probably going to go for that one, and that's exactly what he did. Ends up tossing it out again, though, so little mind games coming in here from Devin. Commonly needs to get aggressive on this, but his teammates are dying, so he elects to just sit there and hide. But they still know that he's crouching down there, so let's see if Commonly is able to pick up the kill. He's not. Even Shooter gets the kill with the flag in his hands. This is definitely going to be another cap here going in for Allegiance, and that's scary if you're Team Liquid because you've had map positioning for majority of this game. It's been looking good from their screens, but they're still down in the game.
And that's Cypher and Rockets here, still in the control of Allegiance, so this is perfect opportunity for them to capitalize and maybe even put in this third and final flag cap. Great snipes from Falcated. He's on a roll with this weapon, only one shot left. Is he going to be able to make it count though?
Yeah, and everyone has to flood in here on the other side of Allegiance. They have to push in immediately, especially because Falcade had got taken in no shields. This is their opportunity to end this one and go up 1-0 in the series. No one on the side of Liquid has even escaped over towards the enemy base, so they're all trapped over here on that red side of the map, and Falcade doing a nice job not over-challenging, leaves that one for Contra. Contra coming in and picking up the DMR. Rain is still alive over there in that cave area, but as you can see, Team Liquid, again, still all trapped on their base. Last player on that elbow is going to spawn his team over there as well. Falcade, even with no shields, pushing out, doing the bait and switch over there with Contra, and they're all just going to continue to spawn over there on that elbow side. Somebody needs to get in there that's full shields and get that flagpole.
Right, too many members, however, of Team Liquid, and they're able to shut down that push. Now they need to use this opportunity to grab some map controls. Yeah, Shooter's still trying to lock down Snipe Tower. I like this from Rain, backing down, waiting for his teammate to come help him, double back, and picks up the kill, gets rewarded for using teamwork.
Yeah, nice bait and switch coming out from Liquid. They're finally getting aggressive over there on the base. There is a player playing defense over there. That's Contra. He gets taken out, but Rain getting the slays as he's pushing into the base, and that's exactly what you want to do. Sometimes players just wait for 2 or 3 dead before they want to pull the flag, but sometimes it's best to just go in there and expect your teammates to go in there and fill and get kills as you're rolling this one. And Rain, nice job using his radar, boosting out his extremely timely cap coming out from Rain, and he did that as players from the side of Allegiance were alive. So really impressive cap from Liquid.
Shooter with that scatter shot, putting it to use, trying to kill as many people in Team Liquid's base as possible. Get some good shots down on Hamby, but as you can see in those player outlines here from spectator mode, everyone on Liquid is spawned up and in their base trying to play defense.
This is big for Shooter because he has the scatter shot, has to avoid any grenades. Doesn't look like they're coming in from Liquid, but look, he can just pick everybody off that's trying to make their way over towards the snipe side. It's going to be 1 kill going over to Allegiance. They just need to flood in here now from that snipe tree area. They also have the rockets, so this is their opportunity. It's 2-2. Last cap is going to win. That's the last player alive over there. The other players on Liquid are definitely going to spawn in the elbow. Shooter even keeps his shields. The other player that spawned and shot him also died, but they did get split spawns on that snipe side of the map, and they're going to get a split spawn on the elbow side. So this is the opportunity for Liquid. If they're able to get a couple slays here, possible counter cap coming in, it's all going to come down in this next minute.
Now, I like what Shooter's doing here, just staying back in the base, being a distraction for as long as possible. He's got the scatter shot. Now he's realizing that everyone from Liquid is committing to pushing across the map, trying to, essentially what they have to do, overcommit to try to get this return, because if this one goes in, it's over.
2 kills going onto the side of them. There's also a flagpole coming in here, so it's a 2-on situation at the blue base here for Allegiance. Does get the kill, but that toss does come out from Commonly, so that's a nice job, and it looks like we're going to move into a flag standoff here.
And wow.
If Rain's able to get this kill, that could be absolutely huge because the other players are going to end up dropping on him. Though, ooh, ends up going for the Ninja, doesn't get it here. So looks like everyone is going to start collapsing on Liquid. They do get a kill over there onto Commonly, but it looks like the players on Liquid are in position. Contra even gets that kill by jumping up there. They're on the return. Is Contra going to be able to get it? Ooh, only a sliver away, and they get the touch on Liquid's side. So Contra so close, but yet so far away.
And wow, great job by both of these teams extending the life of this game. That was almost Allegiance's opportunity to steal that first game, but with Liquid, the momentum's kind of in their favor. But for Devonator, great job with that sniper. He's playing extremely aggressive. That's something you can do when you start running out of ammo, but wow, that was actually kind of close.
That was extremely close. Another close one on the Penguin there. Switches over to his carbine, ends up getting that protector medal. That's going to be really big, even though Contra does get traded there with Commonly. Ooh, misses that no-scope, so nice job by Spartan finally getting that one. That rocket doesn't kill him, so he has to waste 2 there. That's pretty big coming out from Shooter, because that guy with no shields could have just pistoled him. I thought that splash damage was going to be enough.
That was best case scenario from Spartan. He gets stuck in almost a 2v1 situation, kills the sniper player, and then makes Rocket use both remaining rockets. So big heads up play by him, even though it kind of was on accident.
Oh, the flag's pretty far over here in the middle of the map, so they should be able to get onto this one. Maybe get the return. Contra with a big double kill here. He's going to need someone else to flood in. Looks like Rain's going to get that touch. A nice grenade onto Contra there. Sometimes it's hard to get that kill on the cave guy because they have so much room to jump around and possibly thrust. So it's just going to reset here. Rocket's not in play here for quite a while. I don't think Sniper's coming up. You know, no one has any weapons here, so it's just going to be pistols, DMRs, and assault rifles. Maybe the scatter shot here. But Falcon, it's like, I don't see anybody. I need to come back and make sure no one's sneaky returning this flag. Since slays are going over to the side of Allegiance, though, now everyone on Liquid scrambling. Looks like there is a player, Devin, in possible area for this return. They didn't get the flag far enough. That's going to be a nade going on to Devin. He does get the return. That's game going over to Allegiance, and Falcon 22 kills.
Wow, look at some of these stats here. So obviously Allegiance did heavily outslay Team Liquid that game. And take a look at the flag returns. You got 4 flag returns out of Allegiance, while 0 coming out from Team Liquid. So you can see the aggression overall kind of favored Team Allegiance. Or excuse me, favored Team Liquid, but Allegiance was too effective there on those flag returns and, you know, essentially down 2-1, brought that one back and won game 1, 3-2.
It was a huge play by either Shooter or Felcated as the last guy alive to sit there on the enemy base, wait for that flag to come in. A lot of times you see people actually get the pull and toss it out, but it was that type of situation where he couldn't. Otherwise, he would have gave up positioning and died. So he actually waited for the flag guy. Unfortunately for him, no one went back on the side of Liquid to secure that cap, and Rain was just a little too late rotating on that Alba side because he was shooting someone that just spawned. And that was the big difference maker for Allegiance, and they go up 1-0 in the series.
And this is turning out to be a pretty interesting series. That whole game was extremely close, and that standoff could have been ended several times before, but there are several different missed opportunities, whether or not it's Shooter, you know, missing a rocket or going for somebody going for snipe melees instead of kind of setting up and trying to work with your teammates a little bit more effectively. But regardless, Allegiance showing up strong here today. And like we talked about it, is that going to be Allegiance's first CTF win?
It's Allegiance's first CTF win, and now we're moving into Regret Slayer, which is a game type that I feel like is going to favor Liquid, but I thought that they had the advantage in that first game as well. So that's a huge win coming out from the side of Allegiance, and that's what we're talking about, how it all comes down to them taking that first one. And they didn't necessarily steal it. It was just really good plays. They had tons of counters, mainly that play that I was talking about where Shooter or Felcated crouched with the SMG and got that return. And that's the type of momentum that you need. But Team Liquid's very solid on Eden Slayer. I would be surprised if they ended up losing this game, but because of the fact that Allegiance won that first game, that's huge for them, and now they have the advantage in the series.
And think about that commonly play bottom center at first, too, because that flag ended up going in. That was one of the captures, and he was down there for a good 30 seconds or so. So he was essentially taking himself out of the game, had a power weapon, got double teamed, and, you know, if anything, props to Predevinator for playing that situation so well, knowing, I don't know if he knew the player was down there, but in my opinion, he had to have known in order to play it that well. Yeah,
and that's one of those plays where Commonly could have got a little bit aggressive there. He has the scatter shot in his favor. He could have just charged in there and got that kill, and then that cap never would have went in. So minor mistakes here, and they end up being punished on the side of Allegiance. So just heads up play coming out from them. They are really on top of their stuff, and we're talking about how they could have been undefeated. They could be the only undefeated team there if their Rig Slayer would have went a little bit differently. So let's see what Team Liquid's going to be able to do to counter this.
Ooh, great nade here from Allegiance, slowing Commonly down from trying to push out of the bottom of the map. Now he does have an SMG in his back pocket. Rockets were grabbed. Contra, clutch rocket.
Wow, 180 rocket onto Commonly with the SMG. Meanwhile, Penguin picking up 2 kills with that battle rifle. But typically, the blue team does have the advantage in this game type. You do get that sniper pretty much for free unless someone does something miraculous with the light rifle or maybe grabs that plasma grenade and shoots it back. But Devin is a very solid sniper, so if you're Team Liquid, you want to get this out of their hands. He doesn't have any support on that outside of the map, so it's interesting that he doesn't really care about that, just using his radar to necessarily watch his back. But Team Liquid doesn't know that that side of the map is open, otherwise they'd be rotating towards that blue fan area and flanking him.
All right, and it is a member of Team Liquid that has those rockets. Now, it's kind of interesting. They kind of grabbed those rockets and all pulled back, even though they know the sniper is over here towards blue base. Team Liquid really choosing to play this one slow, and that was something we saw them do last season as well. Like, Team Liquid, time and time again, played Eden Slayer with it not going to the full 50 kill count, but losing at the very end of the game.
Yeah, and Devin realized that he was weak on the outside area. His teammates weren't watching that area, so he just rotated over there, gets that nice no-scope onto Penguin, and then that kill gets cleaned up. And that's big. When you can just get a couple of kills and get in the lead when you have setup, that makes the other team eventually have to push out no matter what. And if you were down, there's no reason for the side of Liquid to even poke out. So every kill that you can get for the side of Allegiance now means so much, especially when you have this setup.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Predevinator decides to rotate this weapon around. He hasn't been able to get any real good lines of sight, and that's a big props to Team Liquid for trying to keep calling out his location or position here and just maneuver around the map effectively.
Look at that quick scope onto Penguin, switches over to his battle rifle, also looking for the no-scope on these players outside. The rockets are coming up, so I was expecting Devin to possibly utilize his positioning over in that catwalk area to possibly go through and look through the rafters and try to get the pick on the guys as they're picking up the rockets. But that's big for Liquid because even though they don't have that snipe control, getting control of the rockets means that if they do just collapse onto the space, ooh, nice no-scope coming out from Devin. He does it again, double kill coming out from Devin. Please get the triple, dude. He misses it, but that could have been a potential overkill, commonly flying in here. But as I was saying, they could have brought those rockets in there, cleaned house, and then had both the weapons, but Devin with those sick no-scopes is going to turn the tides.
And Now, interesting not to commit and go for commonly there. Looks like, was he able to escape it? He was able to escape. Goes over towards Rockets, and he's gonna pay for it, not going for that kill. What a great job. Falcated with the shotgun keeps him alive. Commonly gets weakened again here by Rain, who's running, or excuse me, by Shooter, who's running around near the outside of the map, but no ammo for Devinator. Penguin, great
with
job.
the shots. Those are some really nice shots. And Devin wasn't missing with that snipe, and you have to get that out of his hands. We've seen him just go on ridiculous sprees in the past, so that's a huge kill. And you're only down 5 kills, and you haven't had blue control. It's not that bad there, but you can't continue to give up free deaths and let this snowball out of control. New snipers coming up as well, so let's see if Commonly can make his way over here. Maybe that shotgun's up and we can get some sort of rotation.
Now, Falcated does have the sniper in his back pocket, but doesn't look like he grabbed the new one. Still got one shot. Ooh, that player was weak, but that last sniper body shot wasn't enough to drop him.
I don't know if anyone in Allegiance believes in zooming in with the sniper. Looks like they're just all going to go for no scopes. Looks like Contra has it. Let's see if he actually zooms in. Okay, so their zoom buttons do work. It's not just all no scopes here. There wasn't some sort of agreement before this game started. But again, you're only down 7 kills here. They need to do exactly what they did before for Team Liquid and not give up on their strategy. They need to focus just getting these rockets that are coming up in 10 seconds. If they get the rockets, rotate in there and just hope that Contra doesn't do what Devin did to them earlier.
Ooh, but several players dropping here. Allegiance kind of getting the benefit of that battle. We might have some contesting here for these rockets as Contra goes for them. Might start getting shot in the back, but no, he's got the T-squared.
Yes. Oh, he gives up the combo. What's he doing, man? It's a selfish play. That's what happens when you give up the combo, man. You end up dying. Just keep the combo and be selfish. But Contra ends up trying to be too much of a team player and then loses the sniper for it. But that is a good play overall. The rockets were available there, but Team Liquid ends up walking away with those ones, and they're only down 5. But I do like where Contra's head was at because of the fact that 3 players did die on Liquid. That was his opportunity to rotate. But ooh, nice job making sure that they take that rocket player to no shields and even gets the kill with the assault rifle. Shooter giving Penguin the business.
That was great heads-up play by Shooter. Like, you could see how cautiously Penguin was playing that one, trying to prevent any kind of sneakiness from happening, but it wasn't enough, and Shooter plays it perfectly, defeats the rocket player in a 1v1.
Ooh, nice teamwork coming out from the side of Allegiance. That player charged out to the blue stairs and gets double teamed, so nice communication coming out from these guys to keep their teammates alive. And this is getting a little bit hectic here for Team Liquid. They're not getting any control, and they're slowly building on this lead on the side of Allegiance, and they're already down 1-0 in the series. So again, the strategy is either go outside, get those rockets, or at least try to control security, and then get the shotgun and make your way over there towards that blue alleyway. But no one on Allegiance is necessarily letting that happen, and finally they do get a kill over there on that blue side, taking out Falcated. So no one on the side of Allegiance is filling that area out, but they are at least outside to set up for the rockets.
And, you know, with a 9-kill lead, they've slowly been able to build this lead throughout this game. Now, that is a sniper in the hands of Spartan. Great thrust to avoid any kind of no-scope action here from Contra. Contra's having a spectacular game. I know he's picked up quite a few kills, grabs a Top Gun medal here. Let's take a look. Looks like no action. Let's look at some of these stats here. Contra 10-4, completely dominant here. And for Devinator, 8 assists from him as well.
Yeah, it's a 10-kill game, and Contra's positive 6 at this point. So he's a huge difference maker so far. Commonly has that sniper, and this is it for Team Liquid. We've seen Team Liquid, once they actually get control, they're very good at picking up kills at a very fast pace. But Devin with that sniper gets the snipe through onto that is Rain with the rocket. Just a little crack there on the blue. Sneaky, Commonly getting a no-scope of his own, but Devin rotating out here with the sniper as well. Has tons of ammo in here, so this is the battle that Allegiance needs to win if they want to walk away with this one, and Liquid needs it just as bad.
All right, Falcated here is going to try to work on a flank as all of his teammates died over towards the rocket spawn. Good job staying alive. Hasn't even taken any damage yet here. Working with his teammates as Shooter's chucking some nades over towards blue base, pushing back in with his team. Very aggressive play, but it's working out. Great overall teamwork, and with the thrust backwards.
Staying alive and just being a nuisance at the blue base. That was Falcated, and I love that, you know, what you were talking about, how he wasn't taking much damage, just using his thrust perfectly and just totally aware of where he was on the map. So heads up play coming out from those guys, but again, this game isn't over quite yet. It's a 9-kill lead and building here from the side of Allegiance, and all things considered, for Team Liquid, they haven't had the weapons in their hands that much, and they're only down 8 kills now. So, again, if they can get control, I wouldn't doubt if they would bring this a lot closer and possibly take the lead. It's just that they haven't been able to break the setup here coming out for Allegiance.
Ooh, another question is, did he see Penguin hiding down here? He, in fact, did, but not able to pick up the kill. Good job by Penguin, just using that thrust to escape danger. Still 9-kill game. There's plenty of time left here to make moves and play it slow. You know, it's not until about that minute to minute 30 mark, depending on the score of the game, are you going to have to start making really aggressive plays.
Yeah, unless Liquid gets control here and Allegiance dies, it's going to go to a complete standstill. But if Allegiance is able to get some medals, this one's definitely going to go to 50. But from the looks of it, looks like everyone on Team Liquid is in great position here to potentially set up for these rockets. So this could be the push that they need. Everyone on Allegiance needs to be wary of the time because they need to just set up here and just slow this one down. It's 7 kills. They're bound to at least bring this one to probably about a 3 or 4 kill lead based on the fact that they have all the weapons. So you could potentially just play the time here, or at least try to trade kills, and they did a nice job of that.
Spartan had those rockets, grabbed 1 kill, not able to pick up any more. This is the point in the game where you can no longer be trading, especially if you have the rockets. That's going to put 1 rocket left here back in the hands of Shooter. If he's able to pick up a kill with this, it's just that much closer to ending this game, preventing Team Liquid from getting any kind of controller setup. Now, we're still looking at another 25 seconds here before the next sniper rifle spawns up. So, you know, as Allegiance can hang out here for another little while before they need to make any real pushes, and Team Liquid has to lock down that new weapon.
Yeah, and you can see that Team Liquid has to charge into red base, which isn't necessarily ideal because of the fact that they're down by so many kills, and they're just setting up on the side of Allegiance and picking them off as they're coming in one by one. They don't even have to use the rockets, but I do like this play coming out from Shooter to rotate over here. I'm just curious to see if he's behind. Okay, he's going in through the pit and just baiting the rockets through bottom center, and he's just going to wait for someone to go for that, and it looks like that's going to be Commonly eventually. Commonly may try to throw a plasma grenade and blow this one back to himself, but Shooter getting aggressive, shoots that rocket onto Penguin, and this is the kills that they need. It's only a 2-kill game now, and it looks like this one's going to be over, and I think that Allegiance, yeah, they're going to be able to lock this one down eventually and go up 2-0, and that's scary for Team Liquid. They aren't playing as good as we know that they can play.
And then taking a look at some of these stats here, no surprise, Contra leading the pack 14-6, so a +8 ratio from him. And then for Devonator, he had a lot of snipes that game that were really impactful in securing this win, including these two.
These replays are perfect. These are the big turning points of the game. Contra with that 180 rocket right in the beginning pretty much secured Devon with that sniper rifle for him to go on those type of runs. So those were just big individual plays when Allegiance needed them, and nobody really on the side of Liquid stepping up individually like Contra was in that last game and like Devon was to be able to walk away with that Slayer. And that's what you need to have happen when you're down 1-0 in the series. You need one of your big time players. Any one of those players could go huge potentially, and no one did. So a little bit worried for Team Liquid, or if you're a Team Liquid fan moving into these next 3 game types. That doesn't mean that it's not possible here, but something to keep in mind, Allegiance is undefeated in strongholds.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point here. If you're Liquid, you really want to steal game 1, because obviously if you're going up against a team that's not won a specific game type, this isn't just a specific map on that game type. This is the game type in general. You really want to come away with that win. And then it's considering that they haven't lost the strongholds, that's kind of the one where, you know, if you're trying to predict how the series was going to play out, like we were doing before it got started, that you're going to go over and give to the hands of Allegiance. But now considering a 2-0 lead going into now Allegiance's strongest game mode, this is a really scary moment for Liquid fans.
I'm really impressed with Allegiance. We saw how good Team Liquid was yesterday going up against Optic. This means that Allegiance could not easily, but they can definitely hang with Optic if they're playing well, just as well as they're playing right now. And we know how amazing they are on Strongholds. If they can continue to work on their Slayers and their CTFs, they're going to be looking like a lot stronger team here. And now it's looking like Team Liquid possibly being on the verge of sharing last place there with LOL, or not sharing, but being 7th place there. And those are the 2 teams that were in relegation before, so hopefully not the same old song here for Team Liquid, because we know that they've really stepped it up compared to the summer season.
All right, now we haven't watched Penguin a whole lot here so far, and he just ran right by the railgun, so he's going to give it up to one of his teammates. His goal is to immediately get over and contest basement, but wow, Contra somehow picks up a kill. He had the shotgun, that's what he was doing there. And then, however, Cambo did go over the hands of Team Liquid, but that's an opening strategy win for Allegiance here.
I love to see that play coming out from Contra. Yeah, Team Liquid does get the camo. It's a Typically, the red team gets that railgun and camouflage for free, or at least, gets that burn onto the camo. So let's see what Rain's able to do, because love that beginning strat coming out from Allegiance. They locked down basement, they locked down the nest, and they killed the railgun guy with the shotgun. So that's exactly what you want to do, but I love that Rain's going into a little sneaky ledge here, which avoids getting grenades. They need to rotate over there towards that BR area, or they need to immediately just go towards that basement. Looks like they're going to elect going towards the basement because 2 players are trapped at BR for Allegiance, but no, it looks like Penguin didn't know and didn't take the angles on the Falcated and lets this camo player just die. So poor angle taken from Penguin results in a death, and now it looks like he's just going to get surrounded here. I know that they haven't forgot about him. Let's see if Penguin's able to do anything.
Oh, and he does see a player weak in Whitehall, but he's not able to capitalize. It really kind of looks like they forgot about him. Contra runs by, doesn't see him either. This is good opportunity for Liquid to regain some control as Penguin drops the railgun player, but does die to Contra here.
That would have been a huge kill on the Contra. It was still a big kill getting that railgun guy, because as you can see, everyone on Team Liquid rotating towards the barrels. And is that the play there coming out from Penguin that Team Liquid finally needed? That's going to be the question, but as I'm saying that, Allegiance just gets that railgun right back and sets up in the basement.
All right, now that hill is going back over to Allegiance. Falcated doing a great job this series, and with the railgun, grabs another kill on Spartan, who he just took the railgun from.
Yeah, nice fake out, and also nice job from Devin getting in the nades on Penguin as Penguin was trying to solo cap the nest right back on his spawn. And nice job by Falcated picking up that killing spree and killing Spartan again right when he spawns. It's a couple players with the hit markers, and those grenades are going to do some damage. And look at him just responding to the callouts perfectly. And now they're going to start to collapse on this BR area as well. They can either collapse on these spawns and get aggressive because the camo's coming up, or they can just sit back here. And it looks like Falcated's going to elect to go for that camouflage. Scoops that one up at 9:42. So that'll be back at 7:42 as well. Does get hit with that grenade, so nice job by Penguin. Spartan over here capturing this basement as well. They do have the BR base, but now they're going to shift focus onto this nest area. So smart play coming out from Liquid. This is their opportunity to finally lock this map down.
Spartan trying to get some of the same luck that he just had on him from Falcated. Not able to hit that railgun shot, but he's still got several shots here left. Now they're grabbing control, so you don't want to overcommit in this situation. The goal now is to prevent any opportunities or any weak players, and great heads-up play there from Spartan. Knows he's about to get ground pounded, decides he's going to drop Contra from mid-air. Now, looks like the rest of the team is trying to push over and focus on a triple cap, but yeah, Spartan needs to back down right now. Can't risk going 3 down in this situation, and he does. That's too aggressive from Team Liquid here, and they might lose control.
It is. You don't need to go to the triple cap. There's no point. Like, I hate going over to BR base. I'd much rather have that nest, much rather have that basement area. So Spartan wasn't able to go and make any plays with that railgun because his teammates were playing so aggressive, and he couldn't get any good angles as well. He was just stuck in that basement window area, and if it's just a player watches that angle, it's pretty much eliminating the railgun. So you need to work with your teammates that have the weapons here, and that's one of the weaknesses that we're seeing from Team Liquid.
All right, now you have players pushing. Liquid decides they want to go for nest as opposed to trying to control basement here.
How is he alive?
He's doing this consistently all game, just escaping from danger in the most ridiculous fashion.
And that's the second killing spree coming out from him, and this is a good opportunity for Allegiance to just set back over here, control this area at the Carbine. Looks like Shooter's just going to fly out here towards that Whitehall area, which is an area that you want to control, but you can't go over there by yourself, especially when Team Liquid sends 2 players over there. But Devin's going to try to do the same thing here, and this is good for Team Liquid. Even though that they don't necessarily have the best map control in the world, they're still able to rack up points here with that nest and BR setup, and that camo's coming up here soon too. So now they can rotate here, potentially get a little quick triple cap, while everyone on the side of Allegiance is forced to take this BR area, and that also gives them position to rotate and set up for this camo too. So now is the opportunity for Liquid to come back in this series.
Oh, and now they do have 2 players trying to focus on controlling this hill. It does go back over in favor of Allegiance. This game is essentially all tied up with control still within the hands of Liquid, having these weapons now. Spartan, a little bit overly aggressive, but does manage to stay alive. Great heads-up play. We're seeing a lot of similar map rotations and movements from Denox side, from Spartan here. These guys know how to stay alive.
Yeah, but see, Spartan dies with the railgun and he's not able to get any kills because he has 2 teammates sitting there in the BR area of the map. And now they've just swapped map control. Now everyone on Allegiance is feeling comfortable. They don't want to be spawning over there at BR. They'll take the spawn over there on that Carbine side of the map any day of the week. And Contra loses a big 1v1 up against Commonly. Pretty uncharacteristic coming out from him. But that means that they are able to capture the nest coming out from Shooter. Spartan using that barrel to take down Shooter. And looks like they're going to get the BR base as well. So everyone on Allegiance side needs to make their way over towards that overpass and make a push over here and get them out of the nest, but it looks like Liquid's able to capture that one. Now, based on the fact that they have Commonly weak, they're probably going to make a push over there, and it looks like they're going to go over towards this Whitehall area now. There's multiple options you can do here. You can go for the nest, or you can just really control Whitehall area and swarm mid-bridge and fly in towards that basement window. Let's see what Allegiance decides to do.
Look at that. That's going to be 2 members down for Team Liquid while they have control. Not sure why they're playing so aggressive. That's the time you need to just, hide in a corner and stay alive as long as possible. Just be distractions for the team. Just like that. That's going to send control over back to Allegiance. And as Team Liquid being down 2-0 in a series, you can't be making these kind of crucial mistakes.
This next camouflage is going to be huge. Railgun just picked up as well. So whoever's able to go big here in the next like 30 seconds is probably going to walk away with this win. Now, Team Liquid obviously needs this when they're down 2-0 in this series. They do get the slays necessary, so it looks like everyone on Allegiance is going to rotate over here towards the BR. They're going to immediately most likely go for either the basement and try to capture that as everyone on Liquid goes for the nest, or they're just going to try to keep them out of there. So looks like they have split up, and looks like they did not get on the same page there. But nonetheless, looks like Contra getting a nice pick over there and killing the railgun guy. No one on the side of Team Liquid in position to try to stop this one. That's only Rain to try to stop that one. Penguin's over there already grabbing that camo down in that trenches area, so trades the camo for basement. Let's see if he's able to utilize that and make a little run here, because Allegiance is going to take that any day of the week.
All right, now Spartan's trying to get over to Nest to contest. He knows players will start pushing there, but great job by Commonly here and Spartan trying to work together to stop these players. I like the idea or the decision to try to chuck these nades, see if you can drop this player, but it's just too little. There's not going to be able to take him out. Now we are coming down towards the wire here. That camo was already, of course, picked up. You can see the player outline Penguin. They did not spot him moving around there. He's really going to need to clutch it. Looks like he's off to a pretty good start. Rain, what a job at staying alive.
That's huge for Liquid. Yeah, they don't have the strongholds in their favor, but they're going to get it any second here, and they only need 15 more points, so every kill is crucial, and Penguin grabbing that camo and able to utilize it's going to be pretty big. But as I'm saying that, Allegiance picks up a couple of kills at the same time. They are getting triple capped on, but they have flipped the map here on the side of Team Liquid. Team Liquid's going to be stuck over there at the BR base and have to get these guys out of nest ASAP. Also, Devin needs to get a little bit better height control here because he's stuck on the bottom of the map. So as he's rotating over there, everybody flooding in from the barrel side of the map for Team Liquid. Epic fight over here towards the basement. Looks like that's only going to be one player, Falcade, trying to hold him off, and that's going to be it. Only one more push here for the side of Allegiance.
And if they don't jump in a hill really quickly, they're not going to have enough time. They're going to need to put at least 2 people. But now if Penguin's going for this nest and they have to focus on BR base, that's going to be all she wrote, especially dodging those nades. Great job by Penguin.
Yeah,
that's going to be starting to get ourselves into a series here. Take a quick look at the stats, and the slays overall pretty even, except for, look at these captures. 13 out of Rain himself. That might be the most I've ever seen in
That's a lot of captures. You know, they were very aggressive. They captured a lot. They charged into BR a little bit more than I would have personally liked to, but hey, that's all on them. It worked out for them in the end, and they hand Allegiance their first loss in a stronghold. So pretty interesting to see Allegiance pick up their first win in the CTF game and then drop the strongholds game. That's definitely not what we were expecting there. And keep in mind, they only have 1 win so far in CTF, so now moving into CTF Truth, you got to say advantage over to Liquid.
I mean, we've got Allegiance picking up their first win in CTF. We got Allegiance picking up their first loss in Strongholds in the same series against Team Liquid, Truth CTF. So we got there's no sniper rifles on this map. There's no railguns on this map here. Tom, how do you see with that information benefiting the different teams?
I still just think that Liquid has the advantage in CTF based on the stats. The stats don't lie. Allegiance only 1 win. It was that CTF Coliseum here in the first game of the series, but I would have to give the advantage over to Liquid. They won the previous game. The momentum's going to be on their side, and Allegiance, this would be, if it does go to game 5 and they lose this, that's going to be an awful way to start. We saw how Shooter in the interview was saying that it actually did affect them, so they have to win this game.
And that is a must-win for Liquid as well to prevent Allegiance from having to play a Game 5. And with that Regret Slayer being Game 5, Allegiance has to be a little bit worried because we all know what Optic was able to do here on this map, actually.
Yeah, Liquid beat Optic yesterday 50-49 on Regret, so they're definitely strong on that. But we finally saw them actually individually stepping it up there, hitting their shots, making the right decisions. So maybe they got the warm-up jitters out of the way here, or maybe Allegiance just stepped down the level of competition that they were playing at and let off the gas a little bit. But either way, that's in hindsight now, and it is a 2-1 series, and it's pretty much anyone's game at this point. 3 kills going over to Team Liquid, though. That's going to be an advantage for them. The last player is going to be Devin over there. He's stuck over under the base, but Spartan already sniffing him out. Spartan the dog has his senses heightened with that little doggy nose of his, but he's going to be getting some battle rifle shots on the Falcon as this flag's going to be getting pushed pretty quickly. That's going to be a cap going over to Team Liquid. That's a hot start for them.
Wow, and within 40 seconds, already grabbing that, still having control, grabbing the fuel rod. Spartan, I really like this, the aggression that he's showing. He is just always up in your face. Nice job. He even backed up a little bit in that situation. Nice. But too many Team Allegiance members. Oh, if he was able to stay alive for just another moment, they would have been in perfect situation, but 2 players died. That was almost 2 caps in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, Rain, he's watching the angle P1, and whoever else was choking the bubble spawn needs to be watching the flag so they can take that player out of the scope. And that's Allegiance getting that flag return, and you can't afford to make any mistakes like that. We saw Liquid make mistakes and get punished for it in that CTF Coliseum game, and that was a really big missed opportunity. Spartan played that perfectly, pushed in there. It's up to those players that were locking down the carbine side of the map to make sure that they're not shooting the flag guy. They need to protect the flag guy better. And then if they're able to do that, they're going to be able to win this game because they're getting the slays. They got Allegiance on the back foot the entire time. They're playing so aggressive. The communication's really stepped up as well. Last 2 players alive aren't under the base here, so let's see if they do keep their shields. Penguin's going to continue to pull this one pink side. Maybe should slow played it a little bit more, but he does have the actual cover that he needs this time. His shields finally do come back. A couple players dying to Shooter, though. Let's see if he's going to be able to or if he's going to be able to ground pound this one in. It looks like he is going to be able to. That splinter grenade's not going to land in time, and this could have been a 3-0 already 2 minutes in. We could have potentially saw a goose. Does anyone have? All right, everyone does have a kill at this point. We're safe.
And that was almost the most insane CTF truth game I've ever seen. And Spartan, had that double kill after the first flag capture. It was about to be that amazing start to this game to send it to a possible Game 5. Yeah. You want to see both teams setting up for the camo here as that's getting ready to pop.
Yeah, this is perfect play coming out from both teams, but I like that commonly lets his teammate pick that one up even though he's no shields, but could have laid down a little bit better cover and been a meat shield for his teammate Penguin to get away with that one. He does stay alive and make his way over towards P3, which is another good play. He wasn't expecting his teammate to actually die. Also laying down some nice fire on P2, getting a kill and taking another player to no shields. And the way that Liquid's playing this one, looks like we're going to Game 5 already, unless Contra and the rest of the Allegiance squad can step it up. But you can just see kill after kill, slay after slay, going into Team Liquid's favor.
And with the sword here flanking on Falcon, and he doesn't see him in the window, does end up picking up that kill. Now he's got the flag sword. This is a scary moment to be in, but great job by Contra staying alive for as long as he did there, and Shooter as well. Can Rain get the flag in?
Ooh, this is looking good. This is looking good. They also have another player that's top center, so Spartan needs to immediately just fall back towards the base. That's going to be another cap. We're going to Game 5, and wow, that was fast.
That was extremely quick game. Look at this, no flag returns from either team on that one. I mean, so what, the second camo popped and that was it?
I don't know if Allegiance even got past like the 50-yard line. I know Devin snuck over in the beginning of the game to under the base there, but there wasn't a time where they got past that area in P2 that we were just looking at because the pressure coming out from Liquid was absolutely insane, and that's what we were expecting from Liquid. We were expecting that in CTF Coliseum for them to continue their aggression and continue to play how we know they can play, and that's more of the Team Liquid that we know.
And with a 50-36 win on that Eden Slayer, do you see like the Slayer game types benefiting Allegiance with the 5th game being Regret?
I think that based on what we just saw from Team Liquid, how confident they're playing, the shots that they're laying down, that's going to mean a lot for them moving forward into this game. They're definitely going to get at least 45 kills in my opinion. Will they make it to 50 first? Will they win? I'm not quite sure yet. It's going to really depend on my opinion in the beginning of this game. If Liquid is able to secure the overshield, get top center, and jump out to a lead, the momentum's just so heavily in their favor. It's so hard to stop a reverse sweep from happening. You have to not even give these guys any confidence at all, and it looks like they got that confidence and they're starting to put it on.
All right, now who are you wanting to start this off with here? Who do you think is going to be the X factor?
Let's go with Rain. We haven't talked much about Rain so far today, and we haven't seen much of his screen, so let's see what he's doing. Looks like he's going to elect to go for that carbine. Looks like it's a 3-on-3 there towards bottom center. Nice shots coming out. Looks like it's going to be a 1-on-1 here for that overshield. Rain just scoops that one in, grabs it right under their nose. That's a huge play coming out from Rain. Laying some more shots down with the assault rifle onto Felcated, even staying alive here. Is he going to be able to get the kill on the Felcated? Waits for his shields to come back, and he's just going to back off there. So that's big from Rain, getting that overshield, getting that kill as well, because it could easily be like a 4-1 or 5-1 lead here for Legions. Instead, it's 4-2 for Team Liquid.
That was the most intense overshield contest that I've ever seen to start off one of these games, especially like Rain. I thought it was like, oh, why is he reloading? He's got another free kill right in front of him, goes for the overshield. I thought he was too late on it, like the player didn't hold X fast enough, but Rain coming clutch here for Liquid, early lead.
Yeah, XP, whatever you play, doesn't really matter, but it looks like they do have control here on the side of Liquid, and Spartan's in a very, very powerful position. Has that scatter shot over there in the blue grass area. Is going to need another teammate to rotate over there, though, and pick up that weapon. You can't afford to give that side of the map open. And you see Contra tossing a grenade where no player is, so maybe a little bit of hectic communication coming out here in Game 5. Keep in mind that Allegiance, they've already lost 2 Game 5 so far, and their record is sitting at 1-2. So this would be, you know, very unfortunate for them that they're allowing this to happen, because we've talked about it before. They've made just minor mistakes and could be undefeated so far in this season.
And wow, the series of events that just transpired here to give Allegiance a chance to come and jump right back into this one was a little bit unfortunate for Liquid. All started off with Penguin missing a couple of those plasma caster shots. Great job by Allegiance staying in this one. However, the contest here for top center is still happening. Contra grabbing a quick 2 kills. The rest of Team Liquid still pushing up with so many members dead here. I'd like to see them wait for their teammates to respawn.
Yeah, the problem for Team Liquid is they pushed out pink side, and that's not what you want to do. You want to push out car side to regain control, and maybe that's, you know, Rain being that first person to push out there, and everyone just kind of followed based on that, but that's, you know, that's not good. Felcated over here with that scatter shot, just locking this area down is exactly what you need to do. Nice job rotating over there. Does finally get picked off by Commonly. Overshield coming up, though, really soon. Only 2-kill game here. Rain was the guy that miraculously grabbed that one last time. Let's see if he can pull it off again. Signade's going to go down bottom center. He's going to get the burn, though. 9:48. They do have the timing here for Team Liquid. Looking for more kills over there towards that pink side, but he needs to immediately dip out over here after he gets this kill and get towards top center.
Right, and this is a really good job. Penguin is back with that plasma caster in his hands, so let's go ahead and take a look back through his eyes and see what he's able to do with this weapon. Still got plenty of ammo left, but pops out too far.
Oh no, that's really unfortunate for him. Just Allegiance was already on top of the fact that he was one shot, and now we see Commonly over here in that same position that Spartan died with the scatter shot, so he needs to keep his shields and make sure that he's working with his team over here to rotate with the overshield not coming up here anytime soon. It's not the worst position to be in here for Team Liquid, but the map advantage definitely in Allegiance's favor. As you can see, they're all spread out perfectly throughout the map.
Good thrust backwards by Commonly being a distraction. Rain following up that kill. Hammy or Commonly staying alive, really weak in the lift with a couple of ground pounds. Great job here by Team Liquid. We're still tied up in this series. That was the last shot Commonly has in that weapon. Did enough damage. Great call-outs and communication from Team Liquid. Spartan's pushing to finish this one off.
That's good for Team Liquid because they didn't have map control. You can see Allegiance had map control, and they came out on top when it's all said and done, and Rain finally able to make his way over towards Pink 2. No one is on top center there for Allegiance, so if someone on Liquid was able to rotate over there, that'd be great for them, but Pre-Devonator doesn't really care about Rain being Pink 2 and just going to run through there and dominate him, and that was big for Devin because now that's going to be able to secure top center control over there for Allegiance. Overshield was, I think, grabbed around like the 42 mark or something like that, so that's going to be dropping here in the next 30 seconds. So players need to get control of top center, because if you can get control of top center, you can see them on your radar, and then you can also let the drop down at the same time.
And a lot of people dying left and right here. Now it looks like it's slid down just a hair, but they know that there's players from Team Liquid still in this bottom shotgun area. Can Commonly do anything here? Shooter, no, with the steady shots, able to pick that one up. Back to a 4-kill lead. Now he's got the scatter shot in his back pocket. We've got the overshield starting to come up. Map control absolutely in the favor of Allegiance. Great splinter nade takes the player, no shields. Will push and finish that one. Look for him to pull out the scatter shot here shortly. You're gonna need to drop and go for this overshield very quickly. Looks like a player from Team Liquid does push above Shooter, but look at the setup here. Allegiance doing it to perfection.
Yeah, Shooter not trying to die with that scatter shot, and it's also buying enough time by distracting to get Falcated to pick up that overshield. So this is a huge advantage for Allegiance. Team Liquid's going to have to either get the green gun or pull something miraculous off, because everybody on the side of Allegiance either has a power weapon or a power up here. So this is getting kind of ugly here if you're a Team Liquid fan. They need to get control of this carbine side and push out together instead of going out towards that pink side. There goes the green gun. Spartan picking that one up. It's about time that they finally shut Falcated down, because he's been putting in some serious work. Let's see if Spartan's able to go on a run here.
I mean, he does have the new combo for any Halo 2 players there. Does pick up a quick kill, not even charging up that weapon. Just tap in the trigger to drop that player's shields. Now he's pushing back to top center. Now this game is starting to get a little bit closer than what we just saw, down to 8-kill game. Spartan does know he just got some hit markers here, so knows there's players are at carbide, but just playing it slow, waiting for help. It looks like Allegiance all rotated over towards the plasma caster and red base.
He's got to get this kill. He does. So that's huge coming out from Spartan. It's a 6-kill game. They have map control here. They need to find the spawns. It's going to be split spawns coming out from Allegiance. It's 2 spawn at blue, 2 spawn at red. So they got to clear out one of those bases instantly, and then force those players to spawn with their teammates. And then by that time, they should have this game pretty much tied up there. Devin with another big kill. That's going to be him taking out Spartan. Here comes the flood, though, from Allegiance. This is what Liquid need to do all game. Send these guys out car side, push out there, and try to flood and get top center control and utilize that bridge area as well. But a couple players from Allegiance are going to drop. It's only a 4-5-kill game now here. Overshield dropping in the next 20 seconds. Whoever is able to walk away with that one should be able to win this game.
Looks like a good job here by Liquid working together to finish off Contra, who is top. Down to a 3-kill game now, with the next overshield is probably going to determine the winner here.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully this one's going to go to 50-49 again. Maybe see some deja vu with Spartan picking that one up and commonly crouching bottom center one shot. But here comes a nice move coming in from Penguin. I don't know if... Yeah, all right, so does see that player over there from his right-hand side. That's going to be Devin coming out there. So I was a little bit worried that he wasn't on top of the map, but he did have enough positioning to bait Devin out of there. So I do like that play. I'm not sure what happened with that overshield, but it is a 3-kill advantage for Allegiance, and they also do have really great map control, so it's not looking good here for Team Liquid. They're going to have to get up on top instantly, mainly through that carbine side, which I've been saying the entire game.
I think they are a little bit lucky here that Shooter is in fact out of plasma caster ammo as well, so he's locked down to just his pistol. Nobody able to get nades or help out top center. Brain with some good shots. As you can see, he just picked up a perfect there on Falcated. Contra with a scatter shot, down to a 2-point game. This is coming down to the wire, Tom.
Yeah, Falcated with the battle rifle and pretty prime positioning. Penguin picking up a double kill. It's tied 45-45, so Falcated's positioning was great if his teammates were going to be able to stay alive, but now he's kind of caught in the middle of the open. He's going to probably have to back off here. There goes the flank coming in from Commonly. 1-kill game now, and yeah, Team Liquid really stepped it up there towards the end. It was an 8-kill lead for Allegiance, and they've brought this back and taken the lead back.
Right, now we're trying to see where the action is going to be happening. Shooter gets caught a little bit off guard.
Ooh. Great
Trade there in that situation, but still up by 1 kill. 49-50 is the route that we are looking at taking here. Contra ties it back up. Penguin trying to get the jump here on Pedevinator. Good thrust action. 48-48. Are they going to play aggressive? Are they going to charge? They're going to try to slow it down. Contra almost getting caught off guard. He has no shield.
Wow, he ended up backing off, and then Rain ends up getting pinched. Spartan getting 49-49. 2 players top center here. Positional advantage for Team Liquid. Everyone caught inside of the base here for Allegiance, but if they can just back off, play it safe, and get a pick, it's not going to necessarily matter. No dumb deaths here. This is going to be pretty much as intense as it gets. Whoever's, the overshield's going to be up, but it's risky to go for, so this one's just going to be a complete standoff here. Looks like all 4 players for Team Liquid rotating over towards the car side. Love that, but they need to make sure that they don't get flanked over there towards the top center area. Here comes the flood. Everyone trapped in here for the side of Allegiance. Is anyone going to rotate and get a top center area? Looks like that's going to be Commonly and Spartan. So they rotate over there from top car side towards top center area. That's exactly what they need to do. But it looks like Shooter playing here pretty sneaky. Falcated gets taken down to no shields. Still 49, and that's going to be the final kill going over to Rain. 50-49. Liquid does it again.
I cannot believe that we just saw another 50-49. And let's keep in mind that that was a game 5, and that's Allegiance losing another game 5. And although they might be getting closer, they're not able to pull out the actual W, and this is really, really hurting their chances of making it to the finals. That is now the 3rd game 5 loss for these guys. That has to be heartbreaking. I can't even imagine what their reactions were there.
That one's got to sting for sure. The good things for them is that they were able to walk away with their first CTF game. They just really need to focus on these CTF games and need to focus on upping their Slayers. Maybe need to work on a little bit more Game 5 scenarios. Could potentially just practice in best of 5 series, and you know, if you win the first 2 games, let them win the next 2, and then just go to a Game 5 and practice that scenario. But you said
the reverse sweep too.
It's the reverse sweep. You said it. You know, they're getting closer. They were losing like 50 to 42, then like 45, and now 49. That is a good sign for them. But Team Liquid, they really turned it on, and that's a big win for them. That's huge. They could have slipped back and had that same old song from last season, being 7th place right next to LOL, who's in 8th place. But now that's going to be Allegiance dropping and moving to 1 and 3, while Liquid's going to go 2 and 2.
And just what an amazing performance from Liquid, showing their, you know, the versatility that they have, losing that first game 1 in a heartbreaking fashion, getting dominated in game 2 essentially, and then all of a sudden turning on the afterburners and taking Allegiance's first, or handing them their first loss in a Strongholds game type. Truth CTF, awesome dominating fashion. What was that, less than a 3-minute game? So kind of ridiculous there in that fashion. And then another back-to-back nights for Team Liquid on 50-49 victories on that Slayer regret. They've got to be feeling good against about that one, because last season the story was complete opposite. They were never able to really capitalize. They were looking a lot like Allegiance is having, you know, struggling now.
That game was so important for both of these teams. I can't imagine how Allegiance has to be feeling right now. Their hearts have to be broken, so they're going to have to regroup and come back strong next week. Again, they're looking like a top team. We know that they can compete with any of these teams here. It's just a matter of a couple mistakes here and there. Maybe just go into theater, take a look at maybe what happened, and just say, hey, what happened in the beginning of CTF Truth? Why were we able not to get out of our base or get past that halfway mark? But, you know, the good thing is, again, for them, they won their first CTF game, and, you know, they ended up losing their first Strongholds in return. But my heart goes out to them. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaking way to lose. You know, you talk about just dropping those game 5s, but then 50-49. Now, what I want to hear is a little bit here from Commonly from Team Liquid, as they just came off another victory. Commonly, how do you feel after that series?
I don't even know what to say. That was a very emotionally draining series, to say the least.
Did you read your script before? Is that what it had? This is all scripted, right?
Yeah, for sure. Easily.
Yeah, so you go down 2-0 in the series. What was going on in those first 2 games? Because you guys looked like a completely different team after the 3rd game.
We just weren't warmed up. I mean, it's pretty lame excuse, but I just felt like our communication was warming up in those 2 games, and then when we went down 2-0, where it's like, all right, let's just step it up right here, and then just went from there.
So tell us a little bit, you know, you just mentioned you weren't necessarily fully warmed up. Now, is that as far as your shot goes or communication? What is a normal day for you guys as a team when you come into Pro League?
Coming into Pro League, so on Pro League days?
Yeah, exactly, on Pro League days.
So we try to get on 2 hours before the schedule, or like our scheduled match, just to, you know, get warmed up. It's nothing special. We try to talk about what we want to do, and watching other people play, just to get a feel for, you know, how everyone's playing. And then we just, I guess we just warm up for our match. It's nothing special.
I'm really curious about what is to your left-hand side. Is that a giant fuzzy Valentine bear?
That's a teddy bear. He's had that in here before.
He's back. He's back.
He's back?
What's his name?
The same one.
Is that the good luck right there? Is that where the power comes from?
It might be. You'll never know.
All right, now what was the communication like at the end of that game 5? You know, really curious. It was really hectic, fast-paced game. I think Penguin picked up like a double kill to tie it at 47. It was, of course, back and forth till tied at 49, and then everything stopped. You know, what was your guys' game plan at that moment?
Our game plan. Okay, right when it was 49-49, I'm like, all right, all 4 of us just soar out car. That way if there is a single guy watching it, we just melt him. And if there are multiple people, they're going to back up. And also, we got control of the entire map that way. And the 50th kill, it was just all of us just screaming. I gotta even see the kill. I was one shot trying to stay alive, and I didn't know whether I would see victory or defeat on my screen. And I was super relieved that, you know, we won.
Right, and not only that,
It was insane.
but yesterday you were also no shields against Optic, hopping around
Oh,
bottom
yeah.
center, and Spartan was able to
know.
pick that up. So maybe commonly the MVP of 50-49 games.
Yeah,
Problem.
apparently, if you have him on your team, you're gonna win those game 5s 50-49. But yeah, I forgot what my question was gonna be. It had to do with were you guys aware that the fact that they hadn't lost a Strongholds game yet, and that was, obviously going to be the game 3, and you guys walked away with that one. Were you aware of how strong they were on that specific game type?
I knew they haven't lost a Stronghold yet, but that didn't really affect any of our mindsets. We knew Rick Strongholds is one of our best game types by far, and I don't know how they let us get that. So I was pretty comfortable with the game type, and it didn't phase me that they hadn't lost the Strongholds yet.
All right, commonly. Well, congratulations. I know the feeling after a 50-49 game, and considering it's the end of week 2, day 2, you get to go enjoy the weekend after this amazing win. So once again, congratulations. Tell your whole team they did an awesome job, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, thank you guys.
Right, you heard it from Commonly, and wow, like putting on an absolute amazing show. I knew I was excited for this match. I did not expect 50-49 game 5. That's the stuff you can't even make up here with these two squads. A reverse sweep 50-49 game 5.
That, again, I just feel bad for Allegiance. We saw in the interview with Shooter how it does take a toll on you. It's, you go from possibly being 4-0, now you're 1-3, and people are going to be looking at it and be like, man, Allegiance, what's going on with them? They're 7th place. So they just have to brush it off. They just need to come out and be like, hey, guys, we can hang. We can do it. Once they get over that hump, that's going to do the same thing that, when NV beat Optic Gaming in the scrims, it's going to show, hey, we can actually do this. It's going to give them the confidence that they need. Meanwhile, Liquid, they're not going to need any more confidence after that win.
Now, if you like what you saw and you want to see it again, you can always go to youtube.com/ESL Halo to rewatch all of this 50-49 action, whether or not it's against Optic or the match that we just saw. You'll be able to check out the VODs there. Now, of course, don't go anywhere because we've got another big match coming up tonight. It's Optic Gaming going up against X-Optic, or AKA LOL here.
Lol.
Yeah, lol. And, of course, we'll be back here after a quick break while we get all the players set up.